Welcome. Today I'll be reviewing the Broadway Limited GS-4. These are, at the time when they produced this was before they did the Stealth series, so I know this is a little delayed, but I figured I'd at least give them a review, in my opinion, because you can still find them at some train stores. Sorry. Now, the one thing I will definitely say is that their predecessor before that did have gear problem. Broadway did say they did fix it. So, I haven't had any gear problems, but I don't run these very often. So I'm going to go through the lighting features. So beside, you have the number boards do, here and here, do light up when you turn the locomotive on. There are class lights that light up in there. They're not, there's no separate light function for the boards and the class lights, but they are there. The only lighting features that you have control of are the jar light in the front. I hope I'm getting that right. Saying it right. The right name for that type of light. The headlight, and there's a rear light. Everything else is, from my understanding, is automatic. But I do have the daylight scheme and the Freedom Train paint scheme. And I have two separate numbers for that real purpose, so I can run them at the exact same time without them clashing numbers. My running experience with these locomotives are really good. They pull anything I have with them. I haven't had any issues with them, mechanical wise. Now, when it comes to electrical, I've occasionally will have problems with them, but not just mainly because of the smoke units inside, because they're really strong power hogs. They are literally power hogs. But I will run it with the smoke unit, going forward and backwards, so you can hear it go just silently and then with the sound. These do have two separate horn functions to them. So you have the whistle, then you have the air horn that they use on the side. So it does have a little bit of a whine to it, and that's just because of the this is the air horn that they use. So that would be this horn right here and right here, which is what SP had on their locomotives, because they had the alternate between the horn and the whistle. And that'd be function, switch between them would be function 22. So, I'm going to get the smoke unit good to go. And I'm going to have her go forward, and you can watch her go. This is the bale. So, I'm going to span across the locomotive itself. I'm going to turn the sound off. And we'll see. So, right back. So, welcome back. We are at the back of the locomotives. So, as you can see, each locomotives do have class lights on the rear. They are just powered on by the track itself. So, when you have the locomotive going, they just light up automatically. But that is a really nice touch to have. I do have the 44, my daylight scheme, in the reverse with the headlight on, and that's what you should see. Yeah, you can see the brightness of it if I turn the light out. Not bad, but back on. But I would say that it is a nice touch to see the road number on the back in big, bold letters. And I'm going to spin across both locomotives. I'll have them straight in a line when return. So, right back and we'll spin across across each one and go over the details. So we're back. We're going to sprawl across each locomotive, look at the detail. Well, the difference you'll notice, besides just the obvious paint scheme, between the daylight and that is the horn. And I guess that does cover across the paint scheme, but it is silver compared to that, the golden brass horn on the American Freedom Train paint scheme. It does have a build plate to it. I should say Lima. Try to get a close look at the spoked wheels for the rear trucks. Southern Pacific in big, giant bold letters. So the locomotives do have a little bit subtle difference, but the two main that you'll see besides paint scheme are the number board placements. While this version has it more towards the middle, the American Freedom Train has theirs more placed to the front. I know I'm going a little bit fast on that one, but as you can see that those number boards are far more forward compared to that. So if you got to go back, but another thing is you have the number boards being, well, the number board at the bottom being red compared to the black and white. No, they're always been red. My bad. I had to look. But the one thing you'll see is the Lima plate is red, though, compared to the other. White edged wheels. It's got little stars on the But this locomotive number, a little bit of backstory with at least what 44, 49. And if those who already know, it was just this locomotive only got preserved just out of pure luck. And there was nothing that really made this thing special for preservation besides the fact that it, when it was issued by SP to the state, donated to the state for a static display, the only thing that made it special was just the front of the line for the scrapping line. It was just the easiest to pull out. So that just kind of gives you an idea of, how close we were just losing a locomotive of such greatness. And there was a guy who really wanted to see her run again, and he literally spent his time greasing all the trucks and stuff. As I said, sorry about that, I had to pause for a second because of noise. But he, I believe he was a former SP member, and he wanted to see the GS-4 run again. He would grease all the trucks and stuff, keeping her pretty well lubricated and not letting all the points dry up. So when it came down to when they were looking for the American Freedom Train for the anniversary of the United States, they looked at her and realized she's in really good condition. She still needed a lot of work, but she was a very much better candidate compared to other locomotives. And he also did the exact same thing to two other locomotives, which are all three, I believe, sitting together as of today. But the American Freedom Train itself was done because of to celebrate the anniversary of the United States. But due to her weight, because 44, 49 was the first pick, and they were already restoring. They realized they couldn't take her to the East Coast because a lot of that stuff had weight restrictions, and they couldn't handle her massive weight on the track, so they had to find a second locomotive to do it. And that would have turned out to be, I believe, 2101, but it was a Reading T1. I don't really remember if that was her exact number, but she was renumbered for 1 for the United States. And she had 2 separate paint schemes. She had her 75 and 76 paint schemes. Then Texas wanted to have their stats play locomotive that was going. So that one pulled through Texas, and that one, I can't remember the exact type of locomotive. It was a Texas class, number 610. And she was painted in a American train paint scheme. Then there was also the Alco, number 1776, I believe. That one also pulled the American Free Train at points too. But it was a interesting thing. I know I kind of rambled off a little bit, but these locomotives look really, really good. To basically sum up, the only thing I don't really care for, and it's not the fact I don't care for it. It's the problem is it's a smoke unit, because the smoke unit, I'm not saying they're bad, but my 2 things that I have an issue with them is you got to keep the smoke fluid in them, because it causes problems if you run out. So even if you have the switch off, there's a possibility it could still come on. Sometimes the smoke thing leaks. You can't add too much, and too little can cause problems, especially if you run out. So you can't run it without, but it just takes so much power, because it will flicker power. That's the only issue I really had. It's just the flickering of power. There'll be times if you watch a video of these going while it's smoking, they tend to, if you hear it, they kind of cut out sometimes. And then you just reconnect and keep going. So there's plus and minuses with these locomotives, and that just depends on. But in my opinion, would I buy another one of these? Was definitely. And that's just my opinion. You've seen the videos I make with them, and the only problem I had is just with those smoke units and them going. The sound's, in my opinion, okay. They're not hard to operate. They stay on the track really easily. I haven't had any derailments with them. Hadn't had any coupler issues with the couplers. I still believe I still have the stock couplers on both of them, which I do. I haven't changed any couplers. So they run amazingly. They sound pretty good. But if Broadway did another run with the stealth, I'd probably grab a couple stealths just to see how it goes in black. Just to see how it goes. I wouldn't be disappointed with them, especially with my experience with the stealth. How they run. And with these locomotives looking amazing, it'd be a great addition to my roster. But if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. Feel free to share. Hit that bell icon if you want to stay connected, and subscribe. Enjoy the rest of your day.